Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Morino Reifenberg here again. This is going to be another spontaneous live stream. This is going to be another spontaneous live stream. Hello to everyone that is joining and that is about to join. Now, hold up for a second. Let me just hello to you people. Yeah, so I'm gonna continue discussing miscellaneous subjects as usual. This is another run-of-the-mill live stream. I just felt like live streaming. I'm sorry, I just felt like live streaming, so I'm just gonna live stream. And I'm gonna get right into it. Let me discuss something. So I'm already seeing people coming online. 4 people are watching me right now. No one has reacted yet in the chat bar, which I don't mind, frankly, honestly. Again, let me check. Okay, I like the way I look. Everything is good. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah, let's get started. I just hope that okay, Goddess of the Earth is chiming in. Good morning. Good morning to you too. I'm kind of unsure of whether I should wait for other people to join the stream or whether I should just start. But I think I'm just going to start. I don't mind repeating myself. Okay. Otherwise, I'll have to wait too long. Okay. So yeah, let's get going. Let's get this party started, so to speak. I have a couple of topics that I'll be discussing today. First one is the importance of divination, astrology versus tarot card readings. So yeah, let me just begin. Divinations are obviously incredibly important. Without divinations, when it comes to spirit summoning, when it comes to spirit summoning, you're basically flying blind if you don't perform any divinatory reading. Before you start to summon a spirit, for example, if you want something, you want money, or you want this, or you want that, you need to check to see what that spirit's capabilities are for getting you said money and what potential side effects could be and what you can expect. Otherwise, you have a problem, a huge problem in the sense of just summoning spirits blindly. You just summon your spirit, okay, get me money, get me this, get me that, without even knowing whether that spirit specializes in doing what you do or whether that spirit has the potential to give you what you desire, especially in the way that you desire it. So obviously, it goes without saying that divinatory readings are very important. So yeah, and here it comes. The two primary, or the primary and the secondary, so the two most used methods of divination for me are astrology versus tarot card readings. Astrology is my number one form of divination because astrology is detailed, excessively detailed sometimes even. Astrology will reflect not only all the circumstances involved and everything else. Astrology will also sometimes, more often than not, hint at circumstances that aren't even relevant. One's life situation or the life situation of others that aren't even relevant. So all the things happening in your life, aside from the question that you asked, whether the spirit will be suited for doing this for you or doing that for you, astrology will cover all of those things. Uh, so yeah, astrology is definitely the best option to go with, but it's not always the most convenient of options or the simplest of options. For example, when you want a simple yes or no answer, you don't want a ridiculously elaborate answer in the sense of yes, it absolutely is because of this and that and this and that and this and that. No. Whereas with and here it comes, tarot card readings as a secondary form of divinatory readings or as a second form of divination. Tarot card readings, the benefit is just that it's short and straight to the point, very excessively so even. Tarot card readings are suited, ridiculously well suited for simple yes or no answers or questions that require a simple yes or no answer. So yeah, that's pretty much it. By default, I use a 6 spread with major arcana cards in terms of tarot card readings because there are obviously different kinds and so on. And when it comes to astrology, I use orary astrology in a traditional context because that's what orary astrology is for. Let me put my cell phone on vibrate. Sorry, let me put my cell phone on vibrate. Yeah. And yeah, and these two methods, when you compare them with each other, they're like polar opposites, but yet they work ridiculously well put together. And that's what I do. My primary method of divination is astrology, and my secondary method is tarot card readings. And when you combine the two together, you'll be able to see things from all sides and from every perspective. Um, with astrology, you'll get the ridiculously elaborate answer, generally speaking, and with tarot card readings, you'll get short and straightforwardness. And yeah, tarot card readings, the drawback is just that it's similar to the benefit. Okay, it's simplicity. Its simplicity is can be all. It's a benefit as well as a drawback. Okay, it's detrimental as well as it's a pro as well as a con, and that's its detriment. Okay, it sometimes you want a little bit more than just a simple yes or no, and tarot card readings won't give you that. So and you'll be left guessing, and you'll think to yourself it either means this or it means that. It either means sus or it means so, you name it. And yeah, that's not the best way to do things. So hence me combining the two, because I thought to myself, hey, listen, astrology is detailed, tarot card readings are simple. If I put the two together, then I'll have both. Sorry, then I'll have both detailed as well as simple. I'll have something incredibly detailed as well as something incredibly simple. So you can't go wrong with it. Last but not least, regarding this topic, I also need to mention too, of course, that even divinatory readings or methods of divination are not perfect. I don't think they'll ever be perfect. There are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. A couple of exceptional cases in which divination won't help you, or better said, situations in which divinatory readings overlook a certain matter. Hold on. Let me just look this up. By the way, I see someone new. Lisa Violet 777 says hi, hello. I don't think I've ever seen you before on a live stream or even commenting on one of my videos, but regardless, welcome. Yeah, so let me see, last but not least, what the exceptional situations are. All right. For one, lack of opportunities or a lack of resources. Your divinatory readings won't indicate when there's a lack of resources or when there is a lack of opportunities. For example, let's just say you summon spirit A for money, but there is no money in your environment to be had, or there is no way to make money in your environment. An example is um, an example is a simple example is that you live in some kind of rural village that is only comprised or composed of 20 people. There is one convenience store in the entire village, and you summon a spirit because you want money. You summon a spirit because you want money. What do you think is going to happen or be the case? Don't possibly expect that spirit to be able to get you any kind of any kind of realistic money. Okay, we're talking about something worthwhile, something that's worth it for you, because it's just not worth it. End of story. That spirit will barely be able to get you something because of a lack of opportunities and or a lack of resources. That's the first thing to keep in mind. Lisa Violet says, I just found your videos, love it. Good, good. Thanks for that. And Goddess of Earth says, what's a good beginner tarot deck would you suggest? For absolute beginner would be the same ones that I use, okay? Just a 6 spread Major Arcana deck. The Major Arcana, I love it because it is the most visually appealing of all the decks. The other decks look a bit more primitive and so on. Whereas the Major Arcana looks, whereas the Major Arcana is highly detailed in terms of graphic display and imagery and whatnot. But yeah, it's pretty much straightforward, the 6 card spread. Lisa Violet 777 is asking me, what if you have a business? Of course, if you have a business, then yeah, you obviously have a source of resources or a source of opportunity from which can be worked with. That is a prime example of making things easy and there being resources to work with. So that's simply something that you need to keep in mind. But hinting at the example that I gave me, don't be surprised if you're looking for a job, for example, to make money, but there are no vacancies. There is no company that's looking to hire anywhere near you, or um, even a place that is at least possible for you to commute to. For example, an hour away or something. Even something like that is ridiculously hard. Okay, it is very hard. So yeah, point one is that divination won't show you that there's a lack of opportunities or a lack of resources. Your astrological charts and your tarot card readings won't show you that there is a lack of opportunities and or a lack of resources. You need to keep your eye on that yourself, and you need to ask yourself before you do something, hey, is there enough material that the spirit that I intend on summoning can work with? Secondly, a lack of energy and you're working. Your divinatory readings will indicate the potential that the spirit has for getting you what you want, but it will also not display the lack of energy and you're working. So that means if you lack energy, for example, you didn't make enough offerings to the spirit that you work with, or not sufficient enough to get the job done because the job requires a lot of energy, then yeah, don't expect to get there. Even if you do get there, you'll get there halfway. So yeah, also need to keep that in mind. Oh, the third reason is blockage via karma. If you did something in the past, for example, I can't think of an example, but you just did something that was karmically wrong and you're paying it for it right now. For example, you stole money from people, or you robbed people, or you were a scammer and you committed fraud towards people. And as a result, you're basically getting your comeuppance and you're going through a period of incredible financial hardship. You're going through a period of incredible financial hardship. Um, Even if you do summon a spirit, that spirit will not be able to help you, generally speaking. So you won't notice results, even if you summon a spirit, because of just that. Karma's at work right now. You're getting what you want. So summoning a spirit for helping you with money won't help. You need a specific spirit that deals in coping and teaching you either how to cope with karma or undoing karma. But karma, generally speaking, can be undone. Okay, it can be coped with as best as possible. It can be dealt with as best as possible. Um, Let me see. Point four: a personal or specific reason. There can be a personal or specific reason for why a goal didn't work out, and you simply need to keep that in mind too. If there is some personal reason, for example, some kind of mental or personality handicap you have, which basically undoes any results, either partially or completely, then yeah, you won't notice results too when summoning a spirit. Uh, example is example. I'm trying to think of a good example right now of a personal or specific reason. Let's just say that you have the character trait, that you simply have poverty within you as a character trait. For example, it's just part of your makeup. It's one of the building blocks and foundations of your personality. God basically said that, hey, you're always gonna struggle to get by, and you're always going to be poor. And then you summon a spirit. You do your best. You just go out of your way in terms of summoning a spirit, and or summoning several spirits for money. Then yeah, don't expect results to be tremendous. Okay, you'll have to put a lot more time, effort, and energy into it, compared to the average person that doesn't have that character trait that you have. That's what I mean, a personal or specific reason. So in the beginning, even the results will be minor to moderate at best due to your character trait. It's like mixing oil with water. You'll have to mix a lot more water into the oil in order to have that oil minimize itself or evaporate, if you will. And let me see. Another example is, for example, someone that's a hard target. Let's just say it's a love-related matter. Your ex broke up with you, and you want your ex back, and you summon a spirit to get said ex back. Um, this this ex of yours, if this ex of yours is a hard target, for example, this ex of yours has a character trait that makes it so that he or she is resistant to spiritual influence, then you can imagine it's like butting your head against the wall. It is possible, but you'll have to put significantly more time and effort into it in order to get what you want. And last but not least, religious preference also comes into play. Religious preference also comes into play. If you're someone that practices magic that is Christian based or has Christian roots, for example, Western ceremonial magic, the way I practice it, or you are more of a paganist, for example, you practice Scandinavian paganism, you work with Norse gods or the Norse pantheon, and you practice paganism and yet you are a devout Muslim. Doesn't matter. You simply practice, you follow Islam, religiously speaking, on paper. Then there is a possibility that that will lead to conflict. Not saying that that has to be the case, but there is a realistic possibility that that can lead to conflicts, which in itself won't see to results. So your religious background preferably needs to preferably align with it needs to preferably align with the kind of magic that you're practicing. Okay, let me see. Astral Soul 119 is asking me, have you ever astral projected to another planet? Yes, I have on several occasions. The container and the contents is asking me, have you had good results making your own sigils? For manifesting desires, where you write a sentence of what you want and then turn letters into a sigil. Yes, I'm familiar with the practice, the exercise that you're referring to. It was years ago that I did something like that. I think it falls under chaos magic or something similar, but no, I didn't get any results at all. Besides, that seems like it is more, not seems like, it is more of a beginner's exercise, or it's more of an intermediary form of magic at best, okay? But it's not, It all I'm saying is that it lacks a bit in power. It's similar to the new avatar power and other minor forms of magic. Let's just say it's a minor form of magic. Oh, so yeah, does anyone have any other questions relating to what I've just discussed? The importance of divination and the kind of divinations and comparing astrology to tarot card readings and whatnot. Does anyone have any questions relating to that? Hmm. If not, then I'm going to move on to the next topic. And if you want to ask a question, that includes the exceptional cases that I mentioned, the things that divinatory readings don't include or overlook. Lisa Violet 777 says, "What do you think about blood sacrifices?" No, I have an article on my website called "The Impractical Use of Blood in the Occult." Yeah, in which I state that it's impractical and it's highly unadvised to do so, to make a blood sacrifice. Now, you had one or two people, literally one or two, that disagreed with me, either because they received results with blood offerings or something similar, but it is highly impractical. I don't think I need to point out why. The container and the contents is asking me what was the most powerful spell or ritual you ever did in terms of results achieved. Um, what was the most powerful spell or ritual I ever did in terms of results achieved? Um, are you referring to, or do you mean a one-time ritual or a specific working for an extended amount of time? Which one? Goddess of Earth is asking me what spirits are good regarding helping you with divination. Spirits that can help you with divination. Let's see. Spirits that can help you with divination. That's a good question. On mastering divination, that is a tricky one. Let me see. I'm familiar with spirits that deal with clairvoyance, but a spirit that specifically deals with divinatory readings or teaching you how to master divinations, yeah, that is very tricky. I can't really think of a specific spirit. I would really have to look for one. Um, or the only two that come to mind are the Archangel Uriel. He can help you specifically with astrology. Very, very detailed knowledge of astrology and how to apply it in order to use it as a divinatory tool. Or the Goeric spirit Amy. Amy can also help you with mastering divinatory reading, specifically astrology. Astronomy too, if I'm not mistaken, but astrology, yeah. Um, the container and the contents is stating that he meant single ritual that achieved biggest results. So which single ritual did I do that in which I got the biggest results or the best results? I can't think of a single one except for one that I discussed in the previous live stream, in which I summoned the Archangel Anael, and and despite the fact that I didn't get what I want, the impact of the impact in terms of getting me results and the things that I experienced, let's just say the side effects, were simply out of this world. They were nothing like I had ever experienced before, to be honest. Let me know if you're from. I'm assuming you're familiar with the story, but if you're not, then just let me know, and I'll tell that story again. I don't mind telling it again. Uh, Goddess of Earth says, "I'll ask my patron Belial. Maybe he can refer me to a spirit." And Belial is saying right now that I already gave you an answer, and that is the easiest way. Okay, Oriel or Amy would already be good for starters. You're more than welcome to ask him if you want more. If you want more spirits, he says. Belial is also my thing. Belial is also one of my favorite spirits. So yeah, he's my third. If there were such a thing, then he'd be my third in command. He's definitely my third most favorite spirit aside from my patrons. But yeah, now you have your answer, Goddess of Earth. Okay, for starters, Oriel and Amy, or Oriel and or Amy. Okay, I personally would suggest Oriel. You can alternatively also ask the Archangel Raziel. Raziel deals more with clairvoyance, but he can also help you out up to a certain point for divination. Since divination and clairvoyance, there's not really too much of a difference in between them. There is a difference, but not too big in term gap wise. Let me see. All right, Lisa Violet 777. I don't mind sharing the link with you. Hold on. I just need to look it up on my website. I'm referring to the post about blood. Hold on. I'll just share it in the link. I mean, I'll just share the link in the sidebar. Lisa Violet 777. There you go. Goddess of Earth is also asking me how would you spell them, Oriel. No, you spell it Uriel. So Uriel, it's spelled, but it's pronounced Oriel. Okay. Okay, and the container and content says, I haven't heard the story. No, please tell it again. Okay, here goes. This was years ago, back when I was still a beginner, and I met a girl online. She was just in my face. We were just friends on Facebook, but we never spoke. This was back in the day when Facebook was sorcery introduced into the world, and the entire world got in on Facebook, and people just started adding each other left and right. I'm sure you remember that time. It was around 2010 or so, 2011. And the only thing we had in common is that we both had the same musical preference. So that's why we added each other, or she added me, or I added her. I don't remember anymore. But she was originally from Belgium, but she has since moved to Germany, I think. I don't know if she's still in Germany. Don't care, to be honest. But I just had a huge crush on this girl. The second I saw her, she's just so beautiful that I immediately lost it when I saw her. And I'm not the kind of person that this happens to very often, so you can imagine. And but nevertheless, I wasn't head over heels for her. I At a certain point when I started my business, I thought to myself, you know what? I can simply do a spell to see what I can get out of this girl. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to see her or be with her because we're continents apart, literally. And I just said to myself, you know, the best thing that I can hope for, which I don't mind too, is for me to just is to just stay friends with her, good friends with her on Facebook, and to chat it up every now and then. That's what I can expect in terms. That's the best thing that I can expect, the most practical. And yeah, again, I might have had a big crush on her, but I still wasn't head over heels. I was still thinking rationally. I mean, I was when I first saw her. I couldn't think at all. You know, my mind was just zero, boom, it just dropped when I saw her. But now, I mean, now, or let's just say in the period that I'm referring to, it was maybe a year or so after when I was a beginner. It had been a year or two that I had known her. So yeah, I wasn't head over heels for her anymore. Let's just state that. I still liked her a lot, and whenever I looked at her picture or something like that, I could still feel my heart beating a bit faster and whatnot. But but I was able to think rationally. So I simply said to myself, I have nothing to lose, so I'm just going to do a spell, and I'm going to see if I can make the most out of this. And the most out of it would be, me just being friends with her on Facebook and us talking to each other actively, maybe even Skyping, doing a video call, something along those lines. That's the best you can expect from something long distance relationship wise. And I summoned the Archangel Anael, the ruler of Venus. He seemed the most conventional of choices. And it wasn't only a one-time ritual. Back then, I didn't commit to full-on working with the spirit with an altar and all for a good amount of time. I did one-time summonings, but I didn't have altars yet or anything like that. I only had altars to the two spirits that I work with back then, my patron, and I didn't have a vice patron back then either. I That's how long ago this was. This was way before my beloved vice patron Sandalphon, the Archangel Sandalphon. And I only had a financial manager back then, and I think it was it was Clonak back then, the spirit from the Grimorium Verum Grimoire, Clonak. Um, Adelia Shang has just joined the conversation. Says hello. How are you guys doing? Hi, Adelia. I'm hoping you're doing well, for your own sake, of course. In any case, continuing the story, and I summoned Anael and I told him what my desire was, and fine, he said fine, we'll get to it. And while I was waiting for results, I got a bunch of side effects, and the most notable ones were two dreams that I had. And the first dream that I had involved me and her kissing, making out intensely. And I'm not gonna lie, whenever even thinking about this, I still, right now, as I'm saying, I still feel my heart tingling a bit. But yeah, Anel gave me that dream, and despite the fact that I was a beginner, it was still the most intense. That it was easily the most intense dream I've ever had. It was the most intense clairvoyant experience I've ever had romantically. At the very least, romantically. I don't want to say overall, but at the very least, romantically, yeah. I mean, when I woke up, so I woke up just halfway through the dream. All we were doing was just making out, and I woke up, and then I could even feel the after effect. Okay, I smelled beautiful roses right when I woke up, right after I woke up, and I felt my lips tingling. Okay, as if it were really happening. I felt I could still taste her, if you will, that girl, to the point where I literally woke up like this. I was like this, and I woke up like this, and that's when I woke up, and I was like, holy shit! Oh man, that was one hell of a ride. And afterwards, let's just say a week after that, Anel gave me a second dream, but this one wasn't as nice, and I'll explain why. The second dream involved this girl sitting on my sofa in my apartment, on a sofa in my apartment, with only a t-shirt on and nothing underneath. And she said something along the lines of, "Hello, Mr. Magician. I know that you like me, but," of course, it was a bad but. When someone says but like that, it's a bad but right away. And that's when I woke up and I was like, oh, bad news. If she says but like that, then something's wrong. And that was basically Anael's way of telling me hint-wise that, hey, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Then I just cast divinatory readings for myself to see what the reason is. And it turns out that this girl is a hard target. She has a 95% fixed personality. And by that, I mean that she's very stable, ridiculously stable. She doesn't change, she doesn't grow. And at firstly, she doesn't experience any kind of fallback personality wise. For her, life is just consistent, stable, completely stable, like a road. Just the same thing over and over again. And and as a result, she also has such a fixed mind that is hard to influence. So she is a hard target when it comes to spiritual influences or spiritual influence. And yeah, that's the story. Let me know what you think, what any of you think of that story. But that's the most, that is the best thing I've had in terms of results from a one-time ritual. I won't say the best, but let's just say at the very least the most intense. Despite the fact that I didn't get what I want, I was I still remember it. That it simply very. It was a ridiculously intense experience, ridiculously intense, and I was still satisfied. I was still happy, despite the fact that I didn't literally get what I want. It was just the side effects in itself made it all the worthwhile. Um, okay, I'm not seeing anyone give an opinion on the dream, including the container and contents. I don't mind, but again, if you have any opinion on it at all, then just let me know, as well as anyone else. Uh, Before I move on over to the next topic, I'll be discussing again, like I've asked people, if you have something to ask regarding divination, astrology, tarot card readings, and all the things that I've discussed, all of the exceptional conditions that divinatory readings don't adhere to or overlook or don't include, then please do so now. Um, the container and contents is saying what's the most money you've been able to make in a short time with magic, and which ritual or spirit provided it. In a short time with magic, that is tricky because that's not black and white. Mercurial spirits, for one, can give you these kind of results, but the results will be mundane. So you can expect, if you work with a mercurial spirit, instead of waiting for weeks or months even for results, you can expect results on a daily basis, but the results will be very minor. Example is $50 or $25 or $10 a day. That's what you can expect. That's the benefit of mercurial spirits. They work ridiculously quick as a benefit, but as a drawback, they're practically unable, or they're simply unable. They're practically incapable or unable of providing heavy-handed results. So it's more swift results, fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee, that kind of stuff. But don't expect any heavy-handed things. The container and contents is saying sounds cool. The dream sounds as real life. Dreams are fun when they're super vivid and sexual. Yeah. Uh, as long as they're super vivid, doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. Homer Simpson is asking me, can astrology tell you how someone thinks about you? I think you already asked this question in the previous live stream. So the answer again is yes. Astrology can tell you what someone thinks about you and all the other factors involved. If someone is cheating on you, if it's a romantic person, blah, blah, blah. Clark Dennis is Clark Dennis has just joined us. He's saying, I found confusing how can you work with Baal. Start off, I didn't work with Baal. And have Sandalphon as patron if Sandalphon was once Elijah and Elijah was rewarded from God for standing against Baal and other false gods. He did that in a general way, and you're asking me just curious. Um, so yeah, I have no idea what you're getting at, Clark Dennis. Like I said, I didn't work with Sandalphon is my vice patron, and I never work with Baal or Baal. I never work with him. I don't know if you're referring to the correct spirit. I said I was working with Cloneck, but Cloneck wasn't back then. I didn't have. This was way before Sandalphone. I didn't have a vice patron even. I just had my patron Samael, and I had Cloneck was my financial manager. That's it. Goddess of Earth says I did a ritual to Fala. 5 days later, I received $3,000. Yeah, you've told me that story numerous times, Goddess of Earth. No offense meant, of course, but I'm already familiar with your success ritual with Fala. More than familiar. So yeah, that's good. Good for you. And I mean it sincerely. Code 919 says hi, Morino. Hi, Code 919. Welcome back. Okay, so yeah, if no one has any questions regarding divination anymore, if no one else has any questions regarding divination, then I'm going to move on to the next subject. So I'll give people a minute to reply in terms of, I'll give people a minute in terms of replying with a potential question on divination and all the things that I discussed up to this point before I move on over to the next subject. There's a closing off, if you will, of that subject. Mm. The container and contents is saying, does exercise and training ground you, or does it help with magic? Exercise and training, it only helps you, but it helps you the same way that any mundane activity would help you. Right after a ritual, if you need grounding, to be honest, I never needed grounding. I never grounded myself from a ritual. A ritual is just ritual, and then I'm done afterwards. Just just continuing with that. Okay, so no one has any other questions, so I'm gonna move on. Second thing that I am going to discuss, of course, is that for people that are interested in my e-course, if you really want to go all the way, then if you want to go all the way, then I do suggest that you purchase both my courses. This is for people that are interested in purchasing the e-occult course. I do need to state that in the e-occult course or the occult e-course, as a divinatory method for the sake of swiftness, and I also mentioned that therein, for the sake of swiftness and just quickness overall, since you want to get things done as quickly as possible without taking a shortcut and without missing any fundamental material. Um, I only included tarot card readings in the e-occult course. But if you want to go all the way, of course, and you want to really make your divinatory readings as detailed as possible or have them be as detailed as possible, then yeah, I suggest you purchase the astrology course to the e-astro course. That way you'll be able you'll be able to do both the same way I do, which increases your abilities and your abilities and specialty as a magician as a whole. So yeah. Let's see other subject. Next thing that I'm going to discuss are books or grimoires in which to find good spirits, good quote unquote good spirits. Um, there are basic grimoires that most people out there are familiar with, the Goetia being one of them, but there are plenty of others too, non-traditional grimoires. You've got the Arbatel, you've got the Faustian grimoire written by Faust, but that one is German. You have the Grimorium Verum, from which spirits like Lucifer and so on, spirits like that, where they come from. Uh, you have E.A. Koering's books, Book of Azazel, you name it, Evoking Eternity, Kingdoms of Flame. You have Constantinus's book, Summoning Spirits, The Art of Magical Evocation, that lists spirits. You have Kabbalah, Clifford, and Gueric Magic. I forgot the author. You have the Book of Black Venus. You have the Encyclopedia of Demons and Demonology. And you have the Book of Sitra Ara, a grimoire of demons on the other side. You name it. All of these are worthwhile books, of course. All of these books are worthwhile. That's all. So these books are books that you can use to, if you're looking for a spirit specifically. One of them specifically that I would suggest is the Book of Enoch. Enoch is composed of, hold on for a second. Oh, yeah. The Book of Enoch, either the Book of Enoch or a Dictionary of Angels. This book is called, this book was written by an author called Gustav Davidson. It's a dictionary of angels, or it's the title is a dictionary of angels. So yeah, this book will definitely is definitely a book that can help you too, specifically if you're focused on working with celestial spirits. So I'm just going to give you an example. If you were to look up, I have the book in front of me now, and if you were to look up rain, for example, if you were to look up rain, you can find plenty of spirits. I have to give props to, I have to give credits to Gustav Davidson, the author. This book is definitely the most detailed book I've come across. It's a literal dictionary of angels. And you can simply work out of that book, and you can simply choose the spirits that you would like to work with by looking up a keyword, which is what they specialize in. And yeah, I'm just going to list a couple of examples. I'm going to go through the book so you guys can see for yourselves. Um, but before I get to that, I am going to answer a couple of questions. I see two people asking me. Homer Simpson is asking me, how fast can you astral travel once mastered? What do you mean, how fast? I mean, how fast in what? In terms of measurement, kilometers a second, or what? The container and the contents is saying, is Lucifer the very top king of hell, the absolute top deity there, or Satan or Leviathan, etc.? Who's the very top infernal, the very top infernal deity? I don't know. I never bothered to ask them because I just don't care. Lucifer and so on, Satan and I don't know about Leviathan, but Lucifer is definitely one of the highest rank ones that I've come across. Satan also had a high rank, a less higher rank than Lucifer, but still a noteworthy rank, of course, and so on. So yeah, Belial is also one of them. You name it. Homer Simpson is elaborating how much time does it take to astral travel. Yeah, but like I said, what do you mean exactly? How much time does it take? What, in seconds? Astral travel can be done in an instant to the point where it can't even be measured. If you mean how long does it take to train yourself in astral traveling, that's something different. That would vary. People have asked me this question a good deal of times in the past before, and I'd say on average, in order to master astral traveling or astral travel, then I'd say a month. Adelia Shang is asking me, who's your favorite AA in general? What do you mean with AA? Archangel, I'm assuming. My favorite archangel is my patron, Samael. Code 919 is asking me, do spells have power to manifest? Of course they do. That's the very purpose of a spell. Otherwise, what good is the spell if it doesn't have the power to manifest? So yeah. Mm. But just saying words, you mean that's what Code 919 is saying? Yeah, but like I said, if you're just saying words and that's not specifically a spell, that is a citation. But yeah, even citations in themselves have power to manifest if you repeat them enough and you repeat them the right way. That's auto suggestion. It's a technique that I discussed in the previous live stream. Okay, and that is it. I'm just gonna move on now. I'm gonna give you guys an example when it comes to going through one of these books. For example, like the Book of Enoch. I'm going to go through a Dictionary of Angels by Gustav Davidson, and I'm going to give you guys an example. Okay, when looking up, if you, for example, want to spirit an angel that specializes in weather, then you just need to look up rain as a keyword and you'll come across a good deal of spirits. It's like browsing through an online dictionary. Yeah, the first result here that I had for rain, I just typed in rain, is Afbri. AF space BRI. An angel who favors the people of Israel. He exercises control over rain. Uh, yeah, that's an example. And yeah, it's I also summoned this spirit in the past before. Matariel is another name he goes by. Matariel is another name he goes by, or better said, he has a relationship to Matariel, which I have summoned. Yeah. Code 919 says Shalgiel. Yeah, he also mentions Shalgiel. Yeah. I still remember Shalgiel because I also did Shalgiel, but Shalgiel doesn't deal with the rain specifically. Shalgiel deals with with hail, with thunderstorms and whatnot. Shalgiel literally just deals with storms. Pretty much. He can also make it rain, but only in but specifically in a violent way. He also deals with snow. I remember this was. I have a video on it on weather spirits. Generally speaking, Pazuzu is another weather spirit. You name it. But like I said, I prefer to work with angels, and yeah, Material and Shalgiel. Material deals with the weather and with rain specifically, and Shalgiel deals with storms and snow and whatnot. In Enoch, Shalgiel is in Enoch, the book of Enoch. Shalgiel is mentioned as the angel of storm of hay or hail. Every aspect has an angel appointed to it. So, like I said, in everything in existence practically has an angel appointed, annoying ant, an angel appointed to it. Homer Simpson also says Baraquiel. Yeah, I can put my finger on Baraquiel. The container and content says you said you do not meditate. It's not useful for you because your third eye is already totally open. It's not useful to me for personal reasons because personality wise, my personality is of such a nature that I have a tendency to drift off. So my mind just drifts away. Okay. So meditating for me is not a good idea. Meditation is well good in the sense if you want peace, if you want to quiet down your mind, but it's not necessary. So it's completely optional. Oh, so yeah, let me just continue to see who else. There you go. See, angel of rain. In rabbinic lore, at least five qualify as angels of rain: Matriel, Matariel, Brigia, and Zalbezael. That's in Enoch, the Hebrew book of Enoch. Vouches for Batarel, standing for Matarel. In ancient Persian writing, the angel of rain was Dara, as also for rivers was Dara. And we're just going to continue. Something interesting, okay, because it contained the word rain, but it has nothing to do with rain. Something interesting I'm looking at right now. Ansiel, also known as the Constrainer, or whose name means the Constrainer, an angel invoked in magical rites. Yeah, an angel invoked in magical rites taken from Trachtenberg, Jewish Magic and Superstition. It's the author of the book, followed by the book title itself. Let me see. Where is yeah, see what I mean? Of course, you have to specifically like angels, and which I do, of course. So yeah, these books are gold mines. So back in the day when I still was looking for several spirits to work with, it's interesting to see several angels from several orders, and you know, I'm coming across another one here that has nothing to do with rain. Armesi, that's spelled Armesi, an angel of the 10th hour of the day, serving under the serenity of the angel Oriel. Yeah, Armisi, ruling the 10th hour of the day, or he of the 10th hour of the day, serving under Oriel. We have another one here, an interesting one. Barbiel, also spelled or also pronounced Barbuel or Baruel. Once a prince of the order of virtues and of the order of archangels, he is the angel of the month of October and one of the 20 angels of the 28 mansions of the moon. In Bharat, the Magus, that's the book, Barbiel is equated with Barakiel, which would make Barbiel ruler also of the month of February. In the underworld, Barbiel serves as one of the 7 electors under the sovereignty of Zapiel. I'm assuming that the author means Zapkil. Yeah. Yo! And yeah, now I'm seeing who you're referring to, Homer Simpson. This Barbiel is most likely Barakiel too. Oh, you're also asking me now if some angels have the same name. Yeah, it's true, okay, because they come from different sources. So you can imagine. That's also why in the Guich it's mentioned. For example, pagan spirit Fasago also has other names, Usagu, and so on. You name it, they have several names. It's also why someone else's name was wrongfully pronounced Kamayal, but they're one and the same. All of them are one and the same. They might have different appearances and so on, but it's like showing multiple faces of the same person. And the same entity is simply manifesting in different ways. The reason is because of misinformation. Several sources. For example, if it comes from 5 or 6 books, then and one author makes an example, he writes down a K instead of an S, then yeah, you're gonna have things like these happening. Instead of Barakwil, you're gonna have Bara, Barahal, or Barahuel. You name it. It all depends to what culture is dealing with them, what civilization, and the different ways in which they pronounce things. But yeah, generally speaking, it's one. We're talking about one and the same entity. I'm seeing someone new now called Paul, or who goes by the name Paul. To what extent can spirit read minds? Can they tell you exactly what someone is thinking or planning? It all depends on the spirit. It's not black and white. And if your intent is legitimately to know what someone thinks, and so on. But yeah, generally speaking, from a universal perspective, they can read minds. Especially angels, they already know what you want before you want it and whatnot. Code 919 is asking me, have you reached the peak of occult knowledge so that you don't need to know more anymore, or are you still learning new things every day related to the occult? No, I've already reached my peak. Like I said, I'm done. That's why, hence the video with the title or with the header, I'm done. Because I'm literally done. There's no need for new material. There's no need to cover new spirits. There's no need for anything new anymore. I just called it quits. And now the only things that I do are either not occult related, or I just do live streams in which I discuss miscellaneous things, either whenever I feel like it or whenever the situation or the time period calls for it. But for the rest, no, there's no need. Okay, otherwise it's never gonna end. You need to draw the line. So I need to draw the line somewhere. Otherwise, it's just not gonna end. I have over 300 videos on several spirits. I'm not gonna continue covering spirits my entire life. No. I will admit that I do miss it sometimes, because usually when I do it when I'm bored or when I just have free time. But no, I have to draw the line somewhere, and I've already drawn that line. So yeah, basta. I am done, really done. From now on, it's just, or from that point on, when I decided it, from the point that I published that video, I'm done. It is just going over the daily grind, work, and enjoying all that I have done up to this point. That's all. I want to focus on enjoying myself more. I've already pushed myself well beyond human limits, to put it that way. Code 919 says, what are the other things you are into besides the occult right now? Well, I just said that right now, okay? I'm just focusing on enjoying myself and enjoying all the things that I've worked for so hard. Moving, of course, enjoys top priority for me still, as you guys already know, or as you already know, since I've mentioned that in the previous live stream when we got personal. Um, let's see what else. For the rest, it's just daily grind, the daily grind, enjoying the simple things, good food and whatnot, and doing things that I like doing, and so on. But I'm done with refining my magical skills and techniques and all of that. No, 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 no. I'm done with that. It's literally just permanence, focusing on stability right now, which is a challenge for me because it's not in my personality to be stable. I'm more of the upstarter. I'm someone that starts things up ridiculously well, but remaining stable, remaining in that same position of power has always been a challenge for me. But it doesn't matter. It's still going to happen regardless because I'm working towards that. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Homer Simpson is asking me what's in your bucket list. If you don't mind answering, maybe skydiving. And yeah, I wanted to skydive because, but the shithole I live in is too worthless for skydiving. There was a team from the Netherlands here that gave out skydiving, some kind of skydiving tour. It simply included you skydiving for 15 minutes or half an hour or something. But and I had already placed myself. I already paid for it and placed myself on the top of the list, so to speak, in order to you know in order to go skydiving. But nothing came of it due to the horrendous disorganization which is here. Goddess of Earth says that's good for you, but you are still working as a black magician, right? For Javier? Yes, of course. Not as a black magician, as a magician, period. Neither black or white. Of course, for the rest, like I said, the only thing that I said in that video, the only thing that has changed is I'm not publishing new material anymore. For the rest, everything else continues as planned. Okay, especially business-wise, nothing changes. I'm moving onward. Hence me publishing these. I'm making bigger strides. Hence me publishing these occult courses. I mean, these e-courses, these online courses, and offering them to you guys as the public. So yeah, business-wise, everything remains the same. Nothing changes in that direction as well as otherwise. The only thing that has changed is that I'm done publishing new material. No more new articles, no more new YouTube videos on new occult techniques or spirits or anything like that. No new source material, period. Homer Simpson says, I'm too scared to skydive. Code 919 says, you said before that if you do a thing, think about the worst thing that could happen before you do it. And you also said that you've done something wrong with the first evocation of a spirit. What was that mistake? That wasn't a mistake. When I first tried to summon a spirit, I tried to evoke a spirit, and evocation does not lie in my personality. My specialty is invocation. That's it. Gregory M has just logged on or has come online. Hi, Morino. Hello. Can you talk a little bit on your tattoos, specifically those pinnacles and the results you achieve now with because of them? Hold on, Gregory. I have a specific video in which I discuss all of my tattoos and what they mean. It's easier to direct you towards these tattoos, towards these videos, than to. It's easier to just give you the link to these videos so you can see for yourself exactly what is what and so on, instead of me explaining it to you now. Hold on, let me just link them here for you. There you go, and there you go. Those two links are for you, and yeah, knock yourself out for the rest. Code 919 is asking me what happened at the time that I evoked. What do you mean what happened at the time? Nothing specifically happened. I was unable to evoke because it doesn't lie in my makeup. Like I said, I tried to summon a spirit, but nothing happened. And that's it. And I focused on knowing why, and it took me a year or so, or a year and a half, or 2 years before I came to that conclusion. Before I was able to find out why that was the case and what my specialties are and blah blah blah. Oh, Gregory M says thanks. Don't mention it. Okay, and for the rest, I'm going to continue. Uh, You'll have to excuse my quietness or me being quiet. I am just going through the book right now to see what else I am seeing. Okay, seeing interesting thing here too. Rydia, also pronounced Rydia, Rydia, material, the irrigator. Okay, that's what it means. The name. Prince of Rain and command of the element of water. Rydia is said to reside between two abysses. In Hebrew lore, he is described as an angel who, when invoked, shows himself in the form of a 3-year-old heifer with cleft lips. I'd have to look up first what heifer means. What's a heifer? Oh, a cow. A cow that has not born a calf or has born only one calf. Okay, first time I've heard of it. Okay, it has to be Old English. No, I don't remember material taking any of those things. But yeah, the appearance is subjective. When I summoned material years ago, when I was still on the whole weather thing, when I was basically experimenting with weather spirits, material simply appears as the way he appears now, an angel dressed in green. And yeah, an angel dressed in green, just a green robe, generally speaking. David Bradshaw has also come online, but he has retracted his message. I have no idea why. The container and contents is asking me what was the title of that book on angels. Gustave Dore was it? And title is that best overall book for learning angels. In my opinion, it's the best book indeed. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. It's not the best book, okay? It's like I said, it's a dictionary. If you want to browse angels, then yeah, you can definitely browse angels. The container and contents here is the link to it on Amazon. Knock yourself out. It's called the Dictionary of Angels, including the Fallen Angels by Gustav Davidson. I repeat, Gustav Davidson. Goddess of Earth is asking me whether I experience a lot of paranormal activity in my home as a result of spirit work. No, I don't. Aside from the occasional noise that spirits make, or me just seeing energy, or seeing so every now and then the familiar that my guys work with, nothing. So no, nothing in a movie sense. If you're hinting at that, like things falling over and this and that. No, there's none of that. But they also know they don't like stuff like that happening. So it's best not to do it. Otherwise, you're going to be a burden to me. Adelia Shang is asking me whether I can share about my bad experiences as a magician, if there are any. I don't really have any bad experiences as a magician that are noteworthy or that are worth mentioning. Bad experiences as a magician. How exactly? In what way? Uh, David Bradshaw is asking me whether I like Asian women. Why do you ask that question? That's what I'd like to know. Why do you ask me if I like Asian women? Homer Simpson is asking me whether the story about Faust making a deal with the spirit is it true? I don't know if it's true, but I can tell you that Mephistopheles or Mephisto, it's abbreviated Mephisto in short, is a real entity. I've covered Mephisto too in a YouTube video about his attributes and what he can offer and so on. Mephisto is simply an agent of Satan, and he mimics Satan. He appears almost exactly similar to Satan. David Bradshaw says the Nephilim were giants or fairies. The container and contents says, I think you missed this question, so posting again. I might have, I'm sorry. If there are people that are asking 5 to 6 questions all at the same time, that I might miss one. You astral project so easily, just step out. Was it always so easy for you, or did a spirit open your third eye and give you this ability, or is it the gradual result of years of rituals? No, no, no. In my experience, people that generally speaking are good at invoking, since you have energy that passes through you, because that's how you work primarily as a magician. Astral traveling is easy for us because it involves the same thing, the same core technique. Delia Chang is asking me, like, every job has disadvantages and advantages. Maybe there are any difficulties that happen to you while you're working as a magician. Yeah, the disadvantages of my job. The advantages are that I don't have to practice a 9 to 5 jobs or work a 9 to 5 job the way the average person does, or most people out there do, just working an office job 9 to 5 and whatnot. The drawback is that my work takes an incredible toll on me, to the point where the average person, even if I were to give my workload to 3 or 4 people, mundane people, I think all of them would go insane. At least three and a half of them would go insane. That's it in short. For the rest, I've also experienced ups and downs, of course, as a magician, since my work is also fragile. If one thing goes wrong, that could be a significant dip in results, or it could literally undo years of hard work. For example, I can go bankrupt in the blink of an eye if something goes wrong. In terms of my work with my vice patron, not that that's going to happen, but I've experienced setbacks similar to bankruptcy. I've experienced stuff like that in the past too. Okay, that's at least once a year, but I specifically focus on not having that happen again. So yeah, I'm through with that. And I've devoted myself to not making that happen again. So hence me opting for stability and consistency. That's all. For the rest, I'm going to continue. Let me see. Yura in Mandean lore, a spirit of light and of rain. He is called the Great Mystic Yura. Reference is Drower. The author is called Drower. Book is called the Canonical Prayer Book of the Madorians. Madorians. I need to Google up. I need to look up who the Mandean or the Mandeism. Mandeism or Mandeism, Arabic, is a Gnostic religion with a strongly dualistic cosmology. Its adherents, the Mandeans, revere Adam, Abel, Seth, Enos, Noah, Shem, Aram, and especially John the Baptist. Okay. And I'm noticing that Mandeism is specifically practiced in Iraq and Iran and places in the Middle East, in the Middle East, generally speaking. Mandeans are present in Iraq, Iran, Australia, Syria. Okay. Adelia Shang is asking me whether I have Instagram. No, I do not. I used to have an Instagram account, but I think I closed it, or I just don't log on anymore. I used to have everything, all the social media. I'm sorry. I used to have all the social media sites. I used to be on all the social media sites, Pinterest, Instagram, everything, but I just got bored and fed up with them. And I saw how unnecessary they were, so I just relieved myself of all of them by deleting everything. Tumblr, everything. Gregory M is asking me whether I'm able to see the legions associated with the high-ranking entities you invoke. No, not legions. Okay, I see one of their familiars every now and then, and so on. But I don't see all the spirits that they have under them. But it's also not necessary and it's impractical. In order to see all of them, that I don't think that would be possible unless I were to gander into, unless I were to take a look into the astral plane. You know, if one of them were to show me, hey, listen, boom, look at all the guys that are underneath me. But it is, again, impractical and not necessary. I prefer dealing with the CEO, not with 200 of his employees. Homer Simpson has asked me whether my patrons stay with me wherever I go, even outdoors. Yes, it doesn't matter where I am, they're always with me. Doesn't matter whether I swim or whether I do anything, they're always with me. Code 919 is asking me regarding astral sight. In the video, I hear you say to just scry. In the video, I hear you say to just scry into a mirror placed in 45-degree angle, at a 45-degree angle, so you could not see anything. Oh, you mean, I'm assuming you're referring to my e-occult video, right? My video on the, my promotional video I did when I published that e-occult course. I'm assuming when I published that e-occult course, I'm assuming that you're referring to that. Hold on for a second. I'm just checking it out to see whatnot. You're referring to a video now. This one, Marino. Okay. I'm assuming that you want to share the link. Yeah, I know which video. I think I know which video you're referring to. It's my it's the video on my. It's the video, the promo video I did. You can't refer to the actual video, the literal video, because that one is part of the course. Okay, in the meantime, I'm gonna address other things, other people's questions. David Bradshaw says, how powerful are dragons? Why that question? Adelia Shang is asking me, can spirits make me even more motivated and not lazy anymore? Yes. Code 919 is asking me whether I can recommend any book regarding developing astral senses. No, I can't really. Okay, there's enough material on my website as well as my YouTube channel. I have two videos, one on astral senses and the other one on the third, opening up your third eye in Kundalini. That's more than enough in itself. The container and the contents is saying, what do you anticipate will happen exactly to you when you die? Your patron will meet you in the astral or and then reincarnate or no? Okay, God decides who gets reincarnated and whatnot, just like everything else. But when I die, it's simply stepping into the afterlife. That's all. It's like shedding one's clothes. Instead of your clothes, it will be your physical body. But my patrons will be with me regardless. Okay, as long as God wills it. That's it. Code 919. I'm assuming you have difficulty finding the video. Okay, you're trying to find the link. I'm assuming because I'm not seeing you post anything anymore. The last thing you said was this one. And I'm also assuming you're on my channel right now. Like I said, I know which video you're basically referring to if I go to my YouTube video. Even if I go on my YouTube video, on my YouTube channel, if I go to my YouTube channel without being logged in, I also do that so that I have an overview on what you guys see. Nothing. You're referring to my e-occult course, that video that I published 6 days ago. It's a week ago approximately. I'm assuming that you're referring to that one, right? The one with the header, my e-occult course. That's the only one, literally the only one that that you can be referring to or that you have access to. Oh, you're referring to Tattva's astral senses and senses development. Yeah, that's the title of the video. You have difficulty finding it. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. And relating to your question, the whole scrying thing, how could you not see anything even in its 45-degree angle? You just don't. You don't see anything at such an angle. There is nothing that is being reflected in the mirror. Of course, you shouldn't, in the room that you're practicing or the space, the area that you're practicing, you shouldn't have any crap on your ceiling. Of course, that can distract you. But generally speaking, you need to place it at such an angle that you cannot see, that you can't see anything in the mirror. There shouldn't be any reflection in the mirror. That's all. No, okay, you could see the ceiling, right? No, not really. Because when you place it at such an angle, assuming that you have a normal ceiling like most people, there is nothing in that ceiling. So when you're staring into it, you're staring into a blank space because your ceiling is also blank. That's all. When I say there shouldn't be anything reflecting in the mirror, I mean specific objects. For example, a light or a light bulb or anything like that. Uh, Adelia Shang is asking whether it's true that sometimes we can have lucid dreams like at least 2 times in life. Is lucid dreaming almost the same like astral traveling? Yes, it is almost the same, but it's not the same. Lucid dreaming is like a softer version of astral traveling. Okay. Code 919 is thanking me right now for clearing up this doubt for him. He means clearing up because clearing up the fact that he was unsure of what I meant relating to scrying. In any case, I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue with the book. Let me see. Zaphiel, in Jewish legendary lore, the angel in control of rain showers. Zaphiel. Hmm. Also seeing another one. Zal meaning the heart of God. An angel who has dominion over the rainy season. There are variant spellings. He's also spelled Zilipshil and Zalipsil. Oh, okay. Yeah. And those are pretty much all the spirits that are mentioned in all the angels that are mentioned in this book that have the ability to make it rain and so on. Interesting story. Back when I invoked Shalgiel, Shalgiel is, I've already explained who Shalgiel is. Shalgiel is a spirit that deals with hail and with frost, specifically making it snow, etc., etc. Let me read it first. Let me look it up first on the thing. Shalgiel. Shalgiel. Yeah, there you go. Angels of Snow, Shalgiel and Michael. The angels of snow, unnamed, are spoken of in the apocryphal Revelation of John. Another one here, Shalgiel, an angel with dominion over snow. Yeah. And I remember because I wanted to make it snow in my location, and I thought to myself, how sick would that be if I could be able to make it rain in a location where the average temperature is 35 degrees. To make it snow in such a location and to have snow descend upon this piece of crap country. I think I'm going to kill 60 to 70% of the population with this. But again, that's not my aim, of course. But it would just be great, okay, the idea. But I immediately was confronted with the reality of how much energy and how much time would have to be invested in such a goal, because it's anything but easy based on the magnitude of what you want to do. And that's why I saw off the idea of making it snow at Shalgill. I do discuss it in that video, and this discussion reminds me of it. Reminds me of all of it. But yeah, I would love to do such a project. I love to do things that back in the day when I was still involved in new projects. I love to undertake projects that involve doing the impossible, so to speak. But yeah, yeah, so to speak. But yeah, these it's impractical. Okay, such a goal would take, it might even take a year or longer to accomplish, let alone the sheer amount of offerings that I'd have to make in terms of energy. Because it's literally like asking something impossible. I mean, it rains practically everywhere, so making it rain is easier, a lot easier. But making it snow in a country with a tropical climate or in a country of a tropical nature is not It's not. It's no easy task. It's a daunting task, to say the least. David Bradshaw, I saw your comment that you retracted. David Bradshaw, he's reacting off of the thought that, or off of off of someone else's question on whether my patrons are always with me. And I said, yeah, even when swimming and everything. And he said, that's why I laughed. I briefly laughed. David Bradshaw says, even in the shower, shame on you, Sandalphon and Samuel and Sandalphon. No reply needed. Okay, honestly, I don't need to say anything regarding that. The container and contents is asking me whether I prefer invocation or evocation for working with spirits. It's obvious invocation. Everything I do is invocatory. Evocation does not work for me, period. And code 919 is asking me what the difference is between invoking and evoking and summoning. Summoning includes both, okay? Invoking or evoking a spirit, no, you name it, is summoning. But evoking simply means calling forth a spirit for you, in front of you, or having energy manifest in front of you. Whereas invoking simply means having that energy flow through you, or having a spirit's energy flow through you in order to summon that spirit in front of you. So it's like having lightning strike in front of you, or having lightning strike you to the point where you can direct that electricity towards a goal. Oh, Adelia Shang says, please create rain on someone that you disliked his or her wedding. Um, Homer Simpson is asking me whether mythical creatures have existed in the past, such as dragons or fairies. I honestly have no idea. Fairies do exist; they're simply elemental creatures, but dragons. They existed at some point, I think, but they existed at some point, but someone says they existed at some point, but of course they've gone extinct. They were like dinosaurs. That's it. G Stacks 814. I've never seen him before. Is asking me whether someone else a demon or an angel. He is an angel, but he also commits to infernal tasks because that's his nature. Gregory M is asking me, is it possible that a spirit has two different seals? What's the difference between the two? Yes, spirits can have numerous seals, but there doesn't have to be a specific difference between the two. You don't even have to use a seal. Your intent is most important, okay? Your intent is clearly to work with such a spirit, then a seal is obsolete. You can still use a seal just for good measure as a beginner. It will help you grow and develop, but it's not necessary. David Bradshaw says, don't be a peeping Tom, Samuel, and Sandalphon. David Brad, don't be immature. Let's be honest, okay? They see everything, so they can see everything. They even see you in the shower, and as well as all the dirty secrets that you have. So it's not necessary to place these comments. So please don't be an immature oaf. David Bradshaw is asking me what my thoughts are on marriage. I have a video on my thoughts on marriage. They're not favorable. You can look for it on my YouTube channel. Just type in marriage and you should find it. Gregory M says, thanks, very clear, no problem. Homer Simpson says, can spirits forget about something or do spirits remember everything? They do remember everything, but even they have a lot on their mind when it comes to you. So yeah. G-Stacks A14 is asking me whether someone else associated with Baphomet. No, they're two separate entities. I have them covered on my website. Baphomet is an entirely different creature, an entirely different spirit. No association. Let me see. Goddess of Earth is asking me whether I've experienced any imposter spirits. The answer is no. I haven't experienced any imposter spirits. Yeah, I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue with the book of A Dictionary of Angels, and I am going to cover exorcisms. Just checking out exorcisms right now because someone asked me that question: spirits that can help you become an exorcist or practice or assist in exorcism. Angels, Adiram, Adiram, an angel invoked in the benediction of exorcism of the salt. Let me see for the rest. Agla, Agla, in the Kabbalah, an angel of the seal invoked in conjurations of the reed, also a spirit invoked in Monday conjurations addressed to Lucifer. In the rites of exorcism, Agla is called on by a lot, and here is a magic word of power for the He's a magic word of power for the exorcism of demons. In addition, Agla is a name of God that Joseph invoked when he was delivered from his brothers. Agala, that's how it's said in ritual terms. Agala. It's a combination of the first letters of the four Hebrew words meaning "Thou art forever mighty, O Lord." Ata Gadol Leolam Adonai. Wow, this takes me back. References matters: the Greater Key of Solomon and Weighty, the Book of Black Magic and of Pax, and the Plancy Dictionary Infernal. Yeah. Let me see. Another angel, Ajmail. Ajmail. Pronounced Ahjma'. In Arabic lore, a guardian angel invoked in rites of exorcism. The reference is taken from a book written by an author called Hughes, a dictionary of Islam angels. Islamic angels, okay. In Arabic lore, yeah, Ajmail. Another one, Amrail. In Arabic lore, a guardian angel invoked in rites of exorcism. Yeah. I'm noticing that there are a good deal of angels with Arabic names, guardian angels that can be invoked in exorcism. There's another one here, Amwakil. Code 919 is asking me how long did it take for you to become a master magician? I mean, the stage you reach right now. Years. Years, and again, years of working nonstop practically every day on refining my skills and all of that. Ameraton, one of the high holy angels of God invoked in magical rites, specifically in the conjuration of ink and colors and the invocation of exorcism of the soul. Reference is weighty, the book of ceremonial magic, Grimorium Verum. There's also another one here, Anafaxeton, Anaphazeton, Arpeton, Hipeton, or Neipeton, one of the holy angels of God invoked in magical rites. Anafaxeton is a name which, when pronounced, will cause the angels to summon the whole universe before the bar of justice on Judgment Day. He is also a spirit to be invoked in the exorcism of water, of the water. Okay. Adelia Shan is asking me whether it's true that every person has guardian angels around them. No. But every person does have a guardian angel. Every person does have a guardian angel. Period. Ascobai in Solomonic magical operations and angels summoned in exorcism in exorcisms of wax. References matters. The Greater Key of Solomon. Asmodal, an angel dealt with in Solomonic wax exorcism, also from the same author mentioned previously. Astashot, also goes by the names Astrachios, Astrochio. Those are nice names. An angel invoked in the exorcism of water. Let me see. Atail, another guardian angel in Arabic lore. Asrael is also one of them. There's an angel called Comatos. In Golan's Claphilica Solomonis, an angel invoked in the exorcism of wax. His name just reminds me of Comatose, Comato, or Comatos. Another one is Konamas, Kopi. Seeing one here too, Dalmai, also pronounced Dalmay, Damlay. In occultism, a holy angel of God invoked in the exorcism of fire. Another guardian angel in Arabic lore, Dardail, Durbail. A Heres, in occult lore, an angel invoked in the exorcism of wax. The name is attributed to the Holy Spirit. GStax 814 is asking me, I should approach the magic more ceremonial or mental? It used to be ceremonial back when I did things by the book, but now at my advanced stage, everything is honestly, my approach to magic is mundane, to be honest, because everything is mundane to me at my point. There's nothing that would surprise me, to be honest, or anything similar now. Elohi, an angel invoked in the exorcism of fire. Elohi is the fifth of the angelic hierarchies, answering to the 10 divine names. In Solomonic conjuration rites, Elohi is invoked in prayer by the master of the art. Okay. According to the author matters, when the name Elohi of Elohi is pronounced, God will dry up the sea and the rivers. I'm sure that's meant metaphorically, not literally. Emial, in occultism, an angel invoked in the exorcism of the bat. Another one is Eomiya, Erionas, Espiacent. A lot of these angels specifically do not. I found one. I was about to say that a lot of these angels that I'm seeing here are not are not. They don't deal literally with exorcism in the conventional way, as in driving away evil spirits. They deal with exorcism as in cleansing ritual spaces and so on. Um, Gregory M is asking me. Gregory M is asking me, can you explain what gates EA querying refers to when talking about gatekeepers? With gates, by gates, he simply means gateways to other dimensions. That's it. David Bradshaw is saying, do you heard about our Lord and Savior God, Emperor Trump? Seriously, David Bradshaw, you have nothing better to do with your time? Seriously. Okay. And I'm not gonna lie to you, David Bradshaw is gone. I don't tolerate stuff like that. See, I mean, you see, if someone wants to be an ass on my channel, something like that is not going to happen. I do not mess around. Okay. So yeah, I reported him for spam and unnecessary comments and whatnot. He made this was the second time that he made these stupid comments. That he made a stupid comment, and yeah, to the point where it's briefly started to slightly annoy me. And yeah, he's gone with the wind. End of story. Um, Moving on, let me see. And I found one, yeah. Yushi, an angel invoked in the exorcism of evil spirits through the application of incense and fumigation. Okay. I found another one, Hafkiel, In Montgomery's book, Aramaic Incantation Text from Nippur, an angel invoked in the exorcism of demons. Yeah. No, I think that's enough reading from that book right now. That's enough reading from the Dictionary of Angels by Gustav Davidson. Yeah, and yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me see. I'm going to head on over to. I'm gonna head on over to the next. I'm gonna head on over to the next topic. If no one has any other questions relating to what I just discussed and of the book that I just read out of or from, or anyone has anything else to ask relating to weather spirits. You'll have to excuse me, okay? I am just briefly distracted by David Bradshaw's bullshit, but I've already dealt with it. Oh, yeah. GStats 814 says some that adhere to the right hand path say that all magic and sorcery come from the Babylonian mystery school. I just want to know your thoughts on that. I have no thoughts on that, on whether they come from the. I'm not knowledgeable on the Babylonian mystery school. Um, so I have no idea what they're referring to, but assuming that the name has a certain part of its definition, uh, definition wise, we're talking about assuming that the Babylonian mystery schools does have its techniques are indeed extracted from Babylon, then I see it as pagan in nature and not necessarily Christian or Judaistic in nature. No, so no, I have no thoughts on it really. Um, Vance Landry says, "Is there a spirit that can open up clairaudience senses such that one can hear their patron spirits talking to them all the time?" No, no. You'd have to practice clairaudience. Period. The container and contents is asking me for material goals, money, jobs, etc. Will celestials like angels help with such goals, or only infernal spirits? No. Celestial spirits will help with anything as long as it's not immoral. Making money is definitely one of them. They can help you with that. What they won't help you with, for example, is anything immoral. For example, committing a crime or any kind of fraudulent activity, you name it. That's it. Uh, Again, does anyone have any other questions for me relating to the things that I've discussed or otherwise? Oh, Gregory M is asking, is there a reason explaining the confusion between Satan and Lucifer? Are they similar in any ways? No, not really. The reason that there's a confusion is because people interpret things differently. People see Lucifer as the all doer of evil and therefore he's a Satan and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to see what my stream looks like to a third party. Uh, I just want to see what my thingy looks like to a third party. So I'm just checking out the stream right now from another browser that I'm not logged in on, just to double check everything. Okay. No, everything looks good. No No fuss, no nothing. Okay. Okay, yeah. Moving along. So that's it. I answered your question, Gregory M. Adelia Shang is asking me whether I have a book of shadow, like the one made by Gerald Gardner. Whether I have a book of shadows. Yeah. Oh, a book of shadows, like Gerald Gardner. I'm not really familiar with Gerald Gardner, and I don't have a book of shadows. There's no need to. Why would I? So yeah, that's it. I am going to move on. I'm going to move on. And what the next thing that I'm going to discuss is the next thing that I'm going to discuss is planetary magic, specifically summoning a spirit via a planet by petitioning a planet. I have an article on this. If you're advanced enough as a magician, not often, but sometimes it can happen that you can't find a spirit that will suit your exact or specific needs. So what you can do is you can simply ask a planet to send you a spirit that meets your needs the most. For example, you would like a spirit that specializes in stocks and investments because you're a stockbroker, you deal in stocks, bonds, shares, and trades and whatnot, the whole Wall Street personality. But you're also a magician, a practicing magician, and you can't find a spirit that specializes specifically in this. One of the spirits that I mentioned, a pagan spirit, is Osiris. The Egyptian god Osiris can help you with stuff like this. But aside from that, they are you'll have difficulty finding a spirit that deals with stocks and so on in the stock market. Otherwise, you'd have to be a bit more basic, as in, hey, I just want money. But if you want someone that specifically specializes in that, what you can do is simply petition a spirit. You can petition the planets or any planet that you think is best. For example, since Jupiter deals with abundance, Jupiter deals with wealth, you can even petition the sun for it. Then, but traditionally, you'd say go with Jupiter. You can simply summon Jupiter. You can host a one-time ritual to Jupiter, and you can just request that, hey, Jupiter, I ask you to send me a spirit that specializes as best as possible in the stock market and dealing with stocks and trades and helping me become the best stockbroker imaginable or possible. Or at the very least, send me one that meets my requirements as closely as possible. And yeah, it will be done. It would. That's why usually I remember doing this back when I did this. I remember doing this, and back when I did this, hold on for a second. Huh? Need to blow my nose. I'm sorry for the unpleasant noise, but yeah, uh, dust, annoying dust. Yeah. In any case, what I was referring to, if um, if I've done it in the past before, just summon a spirit, or I mean, just host a one-time ritual, but summon a planet and just petition that planet, and that planet will send you, generally speaking, a spirit. It's never been the case that a spirit hasn't that a planet hasn't sent me a spirit. The only drawback is, quite interestingly, when you do so, I've done this in the past a couple of times when I couldn't find a spirit that specializes in a specific thing. I've seen a spirit. I've seen a spirit. I've seen that it takes a few seconds longer. Usually, when you summon a spirit directly, that spirit appears right away in a matter of seconds. If you petition a planet, it does take a while. Not a while, as in minutes even, but it takes, let's just say 10 seconds maybe, or 5 to 10 seconds, as opposed to if you were to summon a spirit directly, it would appear in a second or two. It takes a few more seconds, to be honest and to be frank. But that's normal given what it is that you're doing. You're literally just summoning, you're petitioning a planet. Not literally, but you're petitioning an occult planet, or the force behind the planet to um, a spirit, to send you a spirit that specializes in whatever it is you need help in. And yeah, more often than not, you'll be very pleased with the result. Okay, I've done so numerously, and that's why I've come into contacts with spirits that no one has ever heard of, spirits that primarily angels that no one has dealt with or that aren't mentioned in any grimoire. So yeah, that is interesting, especially from an occult perspective. Um, the container and contents is asking me which celestials are your preference for career and money related goals. Or should you first find a celestial that suits you astrologically and then assign it your various goals? No, not really. Just go with the default spirits that deal in money. Aside from my vice patron Sandalphon, for career and money, just go through the the wealth section on my website. Let's see. Yeah, money, spirits by need, the section spirits by need, category money. You'll find plenty of spirits here that specialize in money. Yeah, you'll find plenty of spirits that specialize in money. Uh, Regardless of what their affinity is, whether they are, whether they're celestial or infernal, you name it. You can even work with Mammon, the personification of greed. It all depends on you as an individual. Goddess of Earth is asking me, is saying, thanks, like me, I want a spirit to help me discover what type of business I can open for my talents. I don't know what I would be good at. In order to funnel wealth to me, I do have a 9 to 5 job, but I want more wealth. Yeah, that all depends, okay, but you don't need a spirit for that specifically. You just, your own natal chart needs to be cast, or an orrery chart needs to be cast to check and see. So divination needs to be consulted to check and see what kind of business you could open from which you could benefit the most. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I could help you with that. The choice is yours, but just let me know if something like that appeals to you. If you're serious, you know how to contact me. I'm assuming I have plenty of contact me options on my website. You WhatsApp, email, you name it. Blah blah blah. Gregory M is asking me, can you refer us the best link explaining how to petition a planet? Yes, just give me a second. Just give me a second. Where is that thing? Planetary Magic. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm just looking to see if it's the correct one. Yeah, I have a video even on it. Here you go, Gregory M. That's the link on my website. Code 919 is asking me, what does your natal chart say about you relating to the occult? It says that the occult by far is my strongest suit. Hold on, Goddess of Earth, if you want to send me an email, hold on, I'm going to send you the link to my contact form. Oh, son of a buck. I'm sorry. Hold on for a second. I'm going to send you the link to. I'm going to send you the link to my contact form if you want to send me an email, and you'll hear from me then. Here you go, Goddess of Earth. That is the contact form via which you can contact me. If that doesn't appeal to you, you can choose the other contact types too, WhatsApp and so on. But I'm assuming that email's okay. This will come directly into my inbox. It'll land directly in my inbox, and I'll reply to you promptly. What my natal chart says about me relating to the occult, it simply states that I am by far the that the occult is by far my strong suit, and I have no real other. I don't really have any other skills that I could make use of in order to make the most out of my life. And I mean, mundanity speaking or mundane wise speaking. So no, nothing. I'm not good at stocks. I'm not good at anything else. I'm not a good businessman. I'm nothing, to be honest. I don't have any noteworthy skills. That's what I mean by I'm nothing. I don't have any other mundane skills or any other skills that could be exploited in daily life, with the exception of the fact that I'm good in technology. That's the only thing that comes to mind. Or advice giving. I could also become a counselor or a psychologist because I'm good at listening to people talk about their problems and then reply in a good way. And I'm good at helping people. I'm good at helping people, cope with their shit, if you will. But by far, the occult, astrology, and the occult are by far. That's my strong suit by a long shot. Goddess of Earth says thanks. Don't mention it. And let me see. The last topic that I had that I was going to discuss was working with a planet or a zodiac sign instead of a spirit. For those of you that are unaware of it, you can work with a zodiac sign too, or with a spirit. With a planet or a zodiac sign, or an element even instead of a spirit. It's the same. Literally, it would be the same thing. Okay, altar wise and everything. The entire way of going about summoning said element. For example, let's just say you wanted to work with the element fire. The entire way of going about something like that is the same. The entire outline ritual wise would be the same, and the entire procedure for summoning spirits would be the same and working with them. The only difference is you'd be working with an element or a zodiac sign instead of an actual spirit. But obviously, it's not recommended. It is recommended that you work with the spirit directly for a more personal bond. Because what happens basically is when you work with a planet or a zodiac sign or an element, you're not working with one entity. You're working with multiple entities. Practically, when working with the element fire, let's just say you've set up an altar to the element fire and you simply work with the element fire. The concept of doing so is interesting to me, but at the very least to me, it's interesting as a whole or in general. But the drawback is that you're not addressing one single entity. You're addressing basically every entity that falls under the element fire. So you're addressing salamanders. You're addressing any spirit, angels that either rule over fire or deal with fire. You're addressing multiple spirits, and that takes away the bonding. That makes bonding a bit harder. That just makes bonding harder. Period. But yeah, nevertheless, it would still be interesting because in results, result wise, these spirits would simply debate amongst themselves or just look at themselves and see which one is most suited for whatever it is that your desire is, and to simply give you that desire, and that spirit would simply go about doing so. That's it. So that is on the concept of working with a planet or a zodiac sign or an element instead of a spirit. Instead of a spirit. And yeah, that was the last topic only that I had on my so-called bucket list that I was going to discuss in this stream. Quote 919 says, what is the strongest placement on a natal chart for an occultist or magician? There is no real such thing as a strongest placements. The chart as a whole, the constellation you were born under, all the placements, the entire chart as a whole, I'm sorry. No idea why I'm yawning, I'm not tired. The entire chart as a whole, the chart as a whole should reflect that. I mean, you could say that, hey, Uranus should be in Sagittarius, this should be here, that should be there, but nah. Uranus and Sagittarius only means that people that are born under Uranus and Sagittarius simply means that these people have a strong interest in the occult, but that doesn't make them proficient occultists. Similar. So no, there is no strongest placement natal wise. Code 919 is also asking me as a follow-up, will bonding with spirits increase the quality of results? Yes, it will increase the quality of results. That's what I was hinting at. Bonding with a spirit will increase your bond with that spirit and therefore his or her motivation or its motivation to bring about results as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Gregorian is asking me whether angels and archangels, whether they do possessions if we ask for it. You mean whether it's possible to have them possess you? Yes, but I already tried it in the past and I was unable to because of my personality makeup. Energy flows through me, but to take possession of someone, to become possessed by someone, by an angel or so on, is generally speaking, it's unheard of or it's rarely heard of. It's just impractical. But yeah, it's still possible. And yes, they are open to it becoming possessed if it is necessary and if it's worth their time. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So yeah, I'll hear from anyone that has any other questions. Does anyone have any other questions? Does anyone have any other questions? Any whatsoever? Any other questions whatsoever? Because I'm basically done topic wise. Been streaming for 2 hours now. So we'll see. If any of you have questions, then whether it's related to the topics that I was asking about or inquiring about or not, just ask it and I'll see if I want to or can answer it. If not, then, and if no one asks questions for a couple of minutes, then yeah, I don't see the need to stay online and then I'm going to close off the live stream. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. And if I don't see any other questions, then I'm going to call it a day. Code 919 is asking me, are you bonded strong to Samael so that you don't have to invoke him anymore? There is no need to invoke him. He's around me all the time. Like I said, my patrons as well as the other spirits are around me all the time, but specifically my patrons, they're standing right beside me right now. Samael is standing to my left and Sandalphon is standing to my right. Patron to the left and vice patron to the right. That's it. Yeah. I'm just checking out the comments on my YouTube channel right now. I will admit that the video that I did on the 6th and 7th book of Moses, it has grown ridiculously. I mean, the 6th, I covered this book, Visibility Public. I covered this book like what? Hold on. Views. Oof. Oh, I'm sorry. Ah, crap. Yeah. I mean, C3 has my video working with C3 has been on top for a while now. But the 6th and 7th book of Moses has surpassed Sipar, Lucifer, Budne, and all the others in terms of popularity. Cloudnet too. It's currently the video that I did on the 6th and 7th book of Moses, that grimoire. I published it in July. I published it exactly a year ago, July the 19th, 2018. Literally a year ago, exactly a year ago. And in 1 year, it managed to jump all the way to second place. It has just under 6,000 views with 32 comments, 37 likes, and 9 dislikes. Yeah. Let me see. Gregory says, when you say worth their time, what do you mean? What an entity gains by working with us? Yes. Goddess of Earth says, thanks for your time, educating us, no problem. The container and content says, thoughts on succubus and incubus. Orly Stewart talks about invoking spirits and having sex with them, and that it's better than human sex. It's better than human sex in the sense that the astral comes into play. Okay, it's not literal sex in a physical way. It's that sexual energy is simply taken away from you to the point where you feel gratified, but it has nothing to do with physical contact, of course. So it's all from one's perspective, how you want to look at it. Homer Simpson is asking me whether the spirit chronos can also help you with teleportation, since you said it's similar to time travel. I'm sorry if I asked this question before. Yeah, Homer Simpson, no offense, but you keep asking the same questions over and over again. Every live stream. Yes, the answer was already yes. The container and the contents is asking me, I wonder how spirits are able to be summoned to countless magicians around the world at the same time. I guess they are beyond time. Not specifically that they're beyond, that they're just beyond time. They are beyond time, but not that. Okay, they can be summoned because a spirit is not just one individual. A spirit is like a force, a gigantic force with, for example, a strength of 1,000,000 people or 5 million or 10 million people, as an example. So a spirit can be summoned practically. A spirit can be summoned whenever you want to summon him, and he can be at multiple places at once because he can, metaphorically speaking, split himself. That's all. It's like talking to one gigantic entity. Okay. Anyone have any other questions? So yeah. Again, Gregorian is saying, sorry, Moreno, you didn't answer my previous question. What a spirit gains by working with us? Oh, that's what you mean. A spirit simply gains experience and becomes better and ascends more by working with a human being. And that's what it's all about. It's about becoming as powerful as possible for them. And they gain power by experience or via experience. Homer Simpson says, thank you for answering my questions. No problem. Um, so yeah, Graham says, thanks a lot for your explanation. Santix Mendes Osus is just logged on. Hi, Marino. Hello, Santix. So yeah, that is it. So yeah, I'm still waiting on an answer. I'm still waiting. I mean, I'm still waiting on questions from you guys. If you have additional questions and whatnot, I'm all ears. Literally all ears. Gregory M says, thanks a lot for your explanation. No problem. Happy to help. Homer Simpson says, thanks for doing this live stream and have a nice day. Goodbye. No problem. Bye to you too. Again, if anyone has any other questions, I've already discussed all the topics that I was going to discuss. So honestly, I am all spoken out. I'm all talked out. So if you guys have anything else to say, then yeah, just go right ahead. Code 919 says goodbye, Moreno. Haters can eat, sleep, breathe, shit, and die. They already do. Gregory M is asking me charts can help know a spirit better, right? Yeah. Yeah, but not even charts. One chart should be enough. Santix is asking me what's a moon spell. A moon spell is simply a ritual or a spell involving the moon. That's it. Okay, it's more of a it's more used within witchcraft contexts and paganistic contexts. Paganistic context. So yeah, that's it. Santix Menesos is asking me, so it's working with the sphere of the moon. Yes, it is working with the sphere of the moon. It's working with the sphere of the moon. It's simply a lunar ritual or a moon ritual in which they draw energy from the moon. You know what I'm referring to? One of those paganistic rituals where women are either naked or they're just sky clad. They only have body paint over them, and they host rituals at night when during a full moon, and they allow themselves to become possessed by some lunar spirit or just a general spirit while pointing at the moon, stuff like that. Um, Code 919 is asking me what I'm going to do after this live stream. After this live stream, I have work to get to, and yeah, today is Friday, so nothing else really, aside from the usual, just work and so on. For the rest, honestly, nothing else really nothing else. So yeah. So yeah, for the rest, it's just patiently waiting for the time to pass. Thank goodness time passes by quick, and it's not a drag or anything like that. I don't like it when things take too long. It is usually hot. It's hot as usual. I mean, it's hot the way it usually is outside. I think 35 degrees. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, Google. The current temperature.
In Danube Grande right now, it's 31 degrees Celsius. Due to the current humidity, it feels like it's 36.
You hear that? It's 31 degrees outside, and due to the humidity, it feels like 36. 36 degrees Celsius outside. Code 919 is asking me how to transmute sexual energy. You mean how to transfer sexual energy specifically, or how to transfer it into a ritual? You'd have to channel it into an occult, channel it into, or channel it towards any occult venture, right? Yeah, you'd have to consult sex magic for that. There is such a thing as sex magic, but you'd have to simply, that's an entirely different form of, entirely different magical system, but it is not really advised, honestly. I mean, sex magic is present, but it's just, if you just Google it here, yeah, one's practice of sex magic is using the energy of sexual arousal or orgasm with visualization of a desired result. It's impractical in my opinion. I mean, let's be honest. If you're having sex with someone, or even having sex by yourself, whatever, bottom line is if you orgasm, do you really want to be focusing on a goal while orgasming? You just focus on having sex and the pleasure that it brings you. Nothing else really. So for me, no, it's impractical. Okay. Santix Minnesota says, "Oh, you live in a hell. You have no idea." I already told you, 36 degrees Celsius outside, and it is only 1:09 p.m. It's 9 minutes past 1 p.m. Believe me, it'll get worse when it's 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. It's just so no. Oh, so I'll hear from you guys. Anyone has any other questions? Anything at all? Any other questions whatsoever? Because I'm not really seeing anything right now. Santix Mendes Osis' comment was the last thing. So yeah, again, I'm noticing that it's all quiet. Code 919 is asking me, I've seen people, he's just making the statement that he's seen people selling stones or crystals, that it has some magical properties. Yes, that's normal. It's been imbued with some energy, that's all. Santix Minnesota says he needs to go. Goodbye to you all. Bye to you too. And yeah, code 919, that's normal. That's called a magical charm. It's normal. Energy is attached to it and it has a certain effect and the story, and then it's sold. Could be anything. It could be oil, it could be a necklace, it could be anything. Gregory M says, when working with archangel and angels, do we have to get married and clean our sexual lives? No. It's impractical for the average person to do so. It would be more appreciated by them, but no, it's not necessary since it's too impractical, way too impractical for the average person, someone else says. Code 919 is asking me how long does the energy from a sexual, from a charm last? Not long, okay? It all depends on the quality and how much energy has been imbued by the practitioner into it, either from his or her own energy or from a spirit's energy. But yeah, don't expect a lot. It'll last you maybe for a couple of months or similar on average. Could be sooner, it could be sooner even, maybe a couple of weeks even, and so on. Hmm. So yeah, if no one has any other questions, then I'm gonna call it a day. Code 919 is asking me, does tattooing the sigils have a charge? What do you mean, does it have a charge? The tattoos that are sigiled, the sigils that are tattooed, that I have tattooed on me, have a specific effect, and the effect is permanent, more or less. It's permanent. But yeah, I didn't just do it because I thought it was going to be cool or something. Nah, it was all work for me. I know that tattooing it on my skin would see to a more efficient effect than just using a pentacle. So I just went through all the potential pinnacles that I wanted in terms of what they offer attribute wise, and I confirmed for myself that putting on this tattoo or this seal would have a desirable effect to the point where the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. So, yeah. Gregory says, thanks to you, Moreno, and your patrons for the answers. A great honor. And Adelia Shang says something similar. Yeah, no problem. You guys are welcome anytime. The container of contents is asking me, do you believe it's true certain occultists do human sacrifice and even babies, even sacrifice babies or commit to mass human sacrifices to empower their rituals? It is possible. I have no idea. It is possible that some devil worshippers do stuff like that. But yeah, it's obviously condoned and they've already secured their places in hell, if you will. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. I don't see anyone else asking any questions or things have died down, which I don't mind. I'm already done talking. I have no other subjects that I'd like to cover. I've already discussed everything I was going to discuss. So yeah, Code 919 is asking me lost spells on a specific target is against their free will, right? No, not really. If done by a celestial, a lost spell will simply awaken dormant feelings that that person has for you, or it will capitalize on existing feelings or feelings that are already there for you, present for you, and simply make the most of it to the point where you see that where you come together with that person without harming that person or without coercing that person, so to speak, into being with you in an unnatural way. So yeah, that is it. Hmm. Okay. Code 919 says, so yeah, Moreno, that's all the questions I have. Thank you very much. Okay, no problem then. Okay, I am going to close off the stream then. I'd say until next time. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and bye.